Greetings, Nubby. You win again. Aloha, Lancel. Let's see. I'll just leave it up there. All right. So I'm actually feeling pretty good here. Cough, cough. Wink, wink. Oh, that's right. I don't even remember what I owe you. Oh, I know what I owe you. I'll go take care of that now. I owe you and Pop and Tazar and some couple other people. He sent me the list of names. Tazar's out of action for a little bit. He fall down and go boom. For those who missed it. I've not checked my email on live in days. I'm sorry for anybody I've neglected. He's doing good? Cool. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I sent him some encouraging words. Just as a guy who's had 5 knee surgeries, a foot surgery, or into foot surgery. Even in my 40s. It's not the end of the world. You can recover pretty easily. So I still have a few sinus problems, but other than that, I'm pretty much 90%. Let's see, my eye is better. Still a little bit puffy, but not much. So let's see, how are you guys feeling about the balance? I've not checked, see the numbers today. I've got a few more changes that are going to go in. This was the release where I was trying to pull off some big band-aids. Sounds like it all went pretty well. I have Elgarion is amazing. I'll just go ahead and say that. But also he's amazing at talking to you guys. And so I'm going to get some feedback from him on a few things. See if he can help me decipher mood of players. And how the changes are really impacting people. And again, I can see the numbers for how it's actually impacting you guys. Oh, I got to start the raffle. Hold on, let me get that going. No. There we go. I mean, I can see how you guys are doing on the numbers side of things, but again, how you guys are actually doing and how you believe you feel like you're doing are two very different things. That's again, I've had at least a couple of people, not too many, but I've had at least 3 or 4 people complain and tell me I've ruined the game and blah, blah, blah. That probably makes it sound like I'm not paying attention to you guys. Hold on, let me get this giveaway started and then I'll get back to my point. How about... Ooh, pattern remover. Interesting. What do we have in the vault? Oh, I should be giving away Cupid Ensemble. That's it. I'm giving away Valentine's Day crap. Okay, now it's open. Now you guys can raffle up and I can get back to my point. But again, you guys... I can see how you guys are doing, and of course the bottom line is what you actually gain. But there's a lot more in terms of like the psychology and how it feels, and do you still feel powerful, and do you still, did it feel like it was worse than it actually was? So that's where it's good to listen to people and that type of stuff and try to understand. Again, it's just like with the crafting stuff. Sometimes I really need to have you guys tell me a bunch of times so I can really understand what you guys are actually, thinking and feeling about stuff. Which is super important. I mean, that's the whole thing is Again, you can have the coolest features in the world, but if you present it wrong and players don't get it, it's bad. It's the same thing with this, is if you guys don't feel like you're powerful, then that's all that matters. It's how I feel. But anyways, I think we're pretty close. I think the concerns are pretty small compared to past stuff, and I think that's, again, because I wrapped it up with the pulling off the other Band-Aid, which is turning attenuation back on. Or turning attenuation off. And actually, it's not technically off. It's actually set to 5 million. Right now, I've only seen one place where the 5 million mark can actually be reached. The attenuation mark can actually be reached. And that is a specific setup in a player dungeon that I'm going to be balancing. And it also looks like it's a specific setup in a player dungeon with somebody doing it solo. And apparently just having the perfect set. But anyways, I think only one or two guys have actually made it there, but it was both in player dungeons on a certain type of creature doing a certain type of thing to them, so I won't call it out. But Griffler, you've been doing it at control point. You should not have seen an attenuation thing come up, because I'm not seeing it in the reports, unless you just did it in the last 24 hours. I've not checked in the last 24 hours. Yeah, there's been people who've been hitting 4 million. Again, you know which pass it is, but the whole group got it. I'll have to go look at that. Oh, you know what? The thing I'm looking at is we have several different metrics we log. So yeah, so it's possible you guys might have hit it, and the main one I look at lies, because the thing I look at is people within a scene. And if there's other people at the scene who are not in the party, it kind of distorts the numbers for me. Several times in CPs as well. A couple of days ago, whole group got it. All right, well, again, there's a little more work, and it's going to be gentle nudges like what I've been doing. But that's my goal, is so you guys won't have to see that attenuation sign anymore. Yeah, and that's the other thing I've been watching, is I've been going around. I've been in game. I haven't actually been in talking to people that much, but I've been in game snooping you guys to see what you're doing, to watch, mechanics and stuff like that. I do that. I'm creepy like that. I'm a stalker. Follow you guys around and see what you do. But anyways, there's some pretty easy changes coming up, and again, trying not to make you feel less powerful. I know there's some people who had concerns about Meteor Shower. I think a little less about Ring of Fire, but Meteor Shower more than some others. And again, that's the whole thing is, if you have one spell that is, here's how you win, everybody has to use it, or else they're at a disadvantage. And so I'm trying to pull that down to a level that makes it more balanced without really making you feel less powerful. It's just trying to make you work harder for it. And I think I got pretty close to that. There's a few bugs going on right now I know of, and I know at least I just got a report of a potion that I screwed up, like a restoration potion that doesn't give you double the health or something like that. But anyways, I think it's a big step in the right direction. I think people are having more fun. I think people are I think the players who are really, if you're working hard, and this is the real goal, is I want you guys, if you work hard, you're rewarded more than if you stand around with two people active in your party. And that's kind of been the goal, is to make it so you can get rewarded more than you could before. Probably not 5 million again. That's over my target, but I want to make sure you can be rewarded, but it's more proportional to effort rather than just time and effort and skill. So the good parties get rewarded, and you actually start slapping your slackers in the party. Time is why I'm upset. Lesney, say what you think. I want to hear your opinions. Again, that's why I'm here today. Just like last time, it was more about artifacts and crafting, but I'm always here to hear what you think. So again, this is not, what I just said is what I'm desiring to make things, where a party that works hard and is a good party. gets more rewards than a party that is lazy or mostly idle, or, someone who's in there with one dude and 5 dudes that he's power leveling or whatever. That's not good playstyle by any means. And I think we're pretty close to that. But the challenge for it is then that also brings the other side of things, which is there's some negatives with it, which is, if you were playing a build that was, you enjoyed it, but it was super ineffective, then it can create tension between you and your party, because now, somebody's not carrying their weight and they feel like you're not carrying your weight. So anyways, again, thank you, House of Mangar, for the raid, and thank you, Waldo Ptolemy. I'm sure the P is silent. Waldo Ptolemy. Let's see. Oh, and people are doing questions. Good. Let me go check my questions here. But let's see what other stuff going on. Of course, there was just a tiny little screw up this week, and that was me Saturday. I'd already told the family that I'm gonna get this one build out early or by noon, and then I'm gonna take the rest of the weekend off and not work at all, not touch, not think about Shroud. And then, of course, the build, I ended up releasing it late. I did test it, but I did a quick test of it because there's no big changes going in. It was, in quick testing, it seemed to be fine. Did my usual thing, run around, jump, and zone a few times, no problems whatsoever. And then I released it, and everybody says, I can't even jump. And I'm like, that's BS, man. I just was jumping a minute ago. It's like, I can't sit in chairs. So that was actually due to moving to the new server. And there's this one file, and we've seen this happen one time before, but we so rarely build new build machines up, we don't see it. But there's a one file that basically defines what stuff the server wants to talk to you about and what stuff it does not. So it was all stuff that basically, if you want to talk to the server, there's a file that was screwed up and you guys couldn't talk to the server. So there's a lot of stuff you could do. There's a lot of stuff you could do that was all local stuff. But then, then people are like, I go to a crafting table and I, black out or whatever. And it's like, yep, you got to talk to the server. But anyways, I got to build up for that as quick as I could. I think we only had about 2.5 hours of really broken time. And you guys were still able to have a dance party. Let's see. I guess I can start looking at questions. But anyways, that was my weekend. Today was actually, I was going through and double checking the recipes for the Akara stuff to upgrade it, because I never checked in the upgrade stuff. I checked in the initial artifacts, but if you can only get to common, then you get to 4 and you can't combine them. So I'll have that checked in. That'll probably be in a build for tomorrow. But once that's done, then tomorrow I should be able to get back to working on bards. The holdup I had on bards was, of course, I was ready to push out 4 skills for the bard tree with a little testing. But there were some people on the team, including the lead artist, who said, you are not pushing that crap out with placeholder icons and everything else out to live. So he made some icons for me. So I'll actually have some icons for things. But anyways, I should still get those. And I'm going to try to get back, now that I have things set up. I can do a live build in under 2 hours. I can do a QA build in under 2 hours. I'm going to try to get back into the habit of at least letting stuff sit on QA for a day before it goes to live. So we'll see if I can get into that groove again. Starting tomorrow. Let's see, and I just saw Sean Butt's question go by. Can the Mac OS version on Steam be moved to 64-bit with the next patch? It does not work with the latest Mac OS. I saw somebody say that, and I thought that they mentioned, it's not working with Mac OS 64-bit, but I didn't realize it was the Steam. I was hoping they were just uninformed, confused, something, and they just didn't know that we did upgrade it, but you have to go and get the new installer. But of course, that's not the case for Steam. Yes, I can probably get Undone as the one on the team who uses a Mac significantly. I'll probably have to check with Undone and see if he can go update that stuff. Fortunately, I think we've got a fair number of Mac users, but they either didn't upgrade. Yeah, the launcher version is 64-bit. Apparently the Steam version does not have a 64-bit. Yes, I'm sure Snugs will fill my mailbox with bards. He's also telling me I failed him on taming artifacts. I put in one taming artifact and it was lame. Let's see. But yeah, overall total playtime was up, which I was happy to see, which I assume means you guys are having some fun. I didn't go check the usual stuff, but I think that was probably more longer play sessions from players, which... Another victory. I get into the questions there. Do. Dun 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 dun. Let's see, I didn't see where these started and which ones stopped. Let's see, release notes are up. I think this is probably old, but when do you think New Housing will be released? I'm not sure. Of course, the Lord of the Isles should be live now. We need to hand those out to people, I think, though. But I will try and get those handed out, or at least get Elgarion or somebody to hand them out. Instead of making armor artifacts, could be more obsidian, so I think I already answered that. Let's see. Brass Knuckles, when are you getting new dungeon rooms? Funny you should ask that. That is, Ravalox and I are going to have a how to make a dungeon class. I'm going to show him how to make a dungeon, because that's actually one of the things he really, really wants to do. The other thing is I will be getting some more dungeon rooms out there for you guys, because the Challenge Dungeon 2.0 Halls of Balance is all dungeon stuff. So it's basically dungeon room after dungeon room after dungeon room after dungeon room. And I will make some of those into dungeon rooms. A while back, there was conversation about creating mining rooms in our dungeons. Is this still in the mix? You already have fishing. Yes. So creating mining rooms, again, this is one I gotta come up with a way to balance it, and it'll probably just be that there's encounters in the room. But getting those in there. And yeah, and you guys are still spending quite a bit of time in dungeons, so especially now, probably even more so now that I mentioned that there's a setup you can get to 5 million experience points, get to attunement, or attenuation, in the player dungeons right now. Ravalox Darkshire, want to buy a duck? So they had an article on Richard in the BBC. A couple of different friends were sharing it. Go check it out. Taiki Vitre, are we ever getting the rest of the essences for dungeons to complete them? Spiders, etc. Yes, so again, right now, this first release, I'd planned on getting a little more done than I did. But the other big thing, I'm trying to remember what the couple of big things I had left on my schedule for the first quarter. But as soon as I get all the stuff I was planning on doing for the first quarter done, then I will be turning my attention to doing more of that type stuff. I know it's shocking to you guys, but we've been so busy doing good stuff for the game and cool stuff for the game. That's the other thing we realized is we haven't done hardly any shop stuff. I think we went for more than a month or 6 weeks or something without adding a single thing to the shop, which is awesome for you guys, because that means we're spending all of our time on free content stuff for you guys, and episode 2 stuff for you guys, and skills for you guys, and balance passes and all that jazz. Not as great for us because we gotta get some stuff in the shop. But anyways, I was just saying that, and that I've been so busy with stuff, I haven't done anything. I know I owe you guys a ton of different things. Dungeon Room's one of them. More stuff by for pot deco stuff. The merchants, the lot merchant guys. Also, I think we're going to be updating the number based on feedback. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Soda Theoral. Thank you, Cyber Cajun, for the follow. Let me get over here. I can't see the things. Let's see. Thank you, Cyber Cajun, for the follow. Thank you, Soda Theoral. And thank you, John Marcus. Thank you, guys. I see Scooby-Doo asking what dungeon room. I can whisper it to you, Scooby. Since you're a longtime fan. We'll see if anyone else answers. I didn't see it in any of them. I definitely saw it in one room. The chat, they said, any of them. And Rotunda with Kobold. But anyways, I'll let you guys get back to that stuff. But let me go and get back to a few more questions here. Gaylor and Hammerthrow. Any chance of combining music artifacts with Bard skills? So that's pretty much one of the only artifacts that you still can't combine was the music artifacts. And that's because I knew Bards were coming. And I'm trying to figure out the exact meshing of those with the Bard stuff. But I'm kind of to the point where I need to figure that stuff out and figure out how the bonuses work and what they give you. So yeah, so I should get those done. I did 8 artifacts, I think, this release. 8 new ones. I need to go back and hit those last couple. Now that we're a little bit closer to Bards being live. Let's see. Will you consider a merge between artifacts when salvaged for something special and already crafted item? There's a lot of stuff. I'm trying to understand. So I was going to say we talked about this. I talked about this with Elrond. I'm trying to understand the exact what you mean by that, Elrond. Consider a merge between artifacts when salvaged for something special and an already crafted item. Yeah, my goal is to basically salvaging artifacts will yield mossy handles. That's kind of the short version of it. They'll move to be less enchantable possibly, or not enchantable at all to make sure that player crafted stuff, and then the salvaging of artifacts will yield mossy handles. And I just use that as an example. Obviously you're not going to get a mossy handle out of everything. Can we get better basic loot on the Envy Angle? You misspelled angel. Envy Angle. 90 minutes, 3 kills, and a total of 300 gold, 50 arrows, and a bow. I guess that's a normal bow. Is it only every 30 minutes that it spawns? Oh, but you can't attach. Oh, so something to attach to it, so like a modifier. Huh. Oh, respawn is good now? Okay. I was going to say, once every 30 minutes would be painful. I looked at the numbers on that, and again, I've looked at past numbers and tried to figure out like how many times you're being killed, and I try to pay attention a little bit to that stuff. Yeah, so like a modifier. Yeah, so again, I've mentioned, you guys, Elrond, I'm sure you know, I, as much as possible, keep my hands off crafting, but that's something that's going to come to an end here in hopefully late this quarter, if not then second quarter. But I need to get in there because the other thing is, I'm a guy that can go in and do design stuff for it and also do some code implementation. And I'm hoping to get that type of stuff in there. We're going to be looking at items. That's one of the things on, I think it's second half of the year though, is adding more data and memory to items so that they have they keep track of how many things you've killed, and they actually have a history themselves. So I need to get in my hands dirty on that stuff soon, but that's definitely not this, not R75. I'm trying to catch up on my R74 stuff. I didn't have hardly anything for R75, so it's good because I can catch up on my R74 stuff. But of course, the other thing I'm trying to cram in, I have a long list of Lewis stuff that's supposed to get in there, and then the other one is trying to pull the raid system in earlier. Basically moving to the 24-party groups are possible, or 24-person groups are possible. And the big challenge on that is the swapping the interface. So that there's the normal interface if you have 8 people, that's what you're used to, and then there's another one that as soon as you go past 8, then it moves to a condensed interface for the left-hand side. Let's see. So Skeggy. Yeah, the Envy Angel probably needs some better loot. The other thing I need to do is I need to take a pass on the Envy Angel to make it more challenging. I think I gave it a little tweak, but I didn't do that much to it. But make it more challenging and also up the loot. Let's see. House Mangar, when can I socket Masterwork enchant Gaia's Heart Tier of Titans? Oh, I didn't know those weren't. Next patch. Yeah, 12 to 15 people in a group. It's probably good for, it's definitely good for any of the content we have currently live. Although I'm hearing some people want more people in their group for upper tiers. I was thinking more for, again, PvP experiences and raids and fights. Let's see. Dream Pirates. When will player vendors be exposed to Lua API? I'm going to try to get that done in a patch before the end of, or by the end of this week. So I'll try and get that for you for for Friday. There's a bunch of those things. I just want to give you the hook function so you can have a function that if you implement it, then it gets the calls. And that's one of them that is on that's like the very next one I'm going to do. So soon, end of week. Let me make a note that I promised end of week. Also, I am streaming today. Tomorrow, of course, is team meeting. Wednesday, I am not going to be streaming here because I will be streaming on Famine's stream. He wants me to bring some fishing poles, but I'll be fishing on Famine's stream, probably answering questions. He's had me on before where he has a list of questions that he asks me, so. Let's see. Taiki, can we get the tree room from the Compendium of Pain as a dungeon also? I'm trying to remember that. I thought I grabbed the interesting ones out of there, but apparently not. Taiki, you probably have some sway with that Ravlox guy. So feel free to harass him too and tell him where he wants some rooms, because I'm going to be giving him his tutorial so he can do that stuff as well. Serenia Melorian, who is working on the polish of existing player-made dungeon rooms. I have some fixes I'd like to request. So it had been me some, but only a little. I pretty much create and then hand it over to somebody else. But it had been mostly Travis. And he has been swallowed up like a few of us. He's been sick at least twice. in the past 2 to 3 months since he did any dungeon polish. And had a vacation, and then we had the Christmas holidays, and then he's also had his time consumed by the episode 2 stuff. The episode 2 map. Which is another thing I'm trying to get live by the end of the week. We will see. I don't want it to go live until I have the copy of the old Ulfheim in there, though. But I'll see if I can get that live by the end of the week. But anyways, so mostly list, but again, we've got some new team members. Ravalox has already expressed an interest in doing some player dungeon stuff and dungeon room stuff and learning how to do that stuff. I don't know that Elgarion has, but he probably would enjoy it. We'll see. Maybe he'll do it. He's got his hands full right now, but again, he was handed as the community manager, he was handed about 1 million things, all of which were behind. Starting with customer support. Ravlox as well was doing customer support stuff. So maybe when he gets caught up, he'll think about that stuff. But I think they're also getting the whole idea of how many things there are involved with maintaining and updating and stuff with the game. I just saw a comment of suggesting we should have a shipping party together. But it looks like we're getting some names. But actually, I think Ravlox, if you're on the stream, my shipper packer has actually been doing a few of those and marking them off. She just needs addresses and confirmed addresses and what type of box. And then we have so much to do, I'd rather let her do it. Because then again, each time you pack boxes, you got to make loads to the post office and stuff. So. Fetid Sir Diddy, can we get additional ways to add points to our dungeon? Ooh, interesting. I'm trying to think what additional ways would be to add points to the dungeon. Right now we have the gold. You can add things through gold, and you can add things through crowns. One of the things I know the tech supports already that we haven't done is having a deco that you can place in your dungeon that adds some points. Basically, it's just a deco that costs negative dungeon points. So that's one thing we could do, but I don't know too many other ways. If you have ideas on how to add points to the dungeon other than gold or crowns, let me know. Unique drops for player dungeons going to happen. Yes, unique drops for player dungeons are going to happen. I'm not going to say it's going to happen in R75. That is one of the things, though. You guys know that this this quarter is balance and loot work. Of course, the loot work is going to continue for the rest of the year. But the balance part, obviously, you've been seeing a lot of that stuff go out now. And but the loot part is the other part, and that's one of the things I have continued to promise, and that will happen for the loot part for this one. But also, if I know there's some dungeon rooms you're getting 5 million in. That's just because those haven't had any type of balance pass. Again, I won't technically nerf the experience or anything, but I will probably go in and make it more fitting to the challenge of the rewards. Taiki, can we masterwork and enchant crafted instruments now too? Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, the tech's all there. This is one of those things, we just have a table that I have to add things to, defining what type of item it is. But yeah, that seems like, especially with bards coming online. I'm still working on a couple of things with the bards as I try to get 5 million is perfect, don't touch it. See, I think leaving it at 5 million is probably where it's going to stay, and then I'm just going to continue to nudge things to make sure that only the very, very hardworking, exceptional groups get to 5 million. Again, making that the very top. With again, my real target is I want decent groups that are average groups who are working at an average level to getting that 1 to 2 million range. per hour. But yes, Masterwork Instruments. I'm still working on some stuff with the bards and instruments in terms of them being used as like weapons, and looking at some other stuff like that. Not being used as weapons to attack, but them actually being in your weapon slot rather than in your instrument slot. But we'll see if that happens before the bards go live really, which the bards really won't be going fully live until probably next release. I'll be getting some skills out and having some early stuff in there just so we can start doing some testing. Of course, you guys do testing on QA, but you guys really, again, I always see things slip by QA so easily. Let's see. Lancermain. For pot, when will we start seeing some of the goodies come in for the pot? Example, dummies, not on a lot, but in the town itself. Oh, I thought we were flagging those things basically on request at this point. I know Ravlox knows how to do it and had done a few. So now, we've been trying to not make it purely a, everything is either pot or lot. We can make them both, and we've been going and flagging stuff so you can use it as a pot deco. Oh, the dummies on the lot. Because that is technically an entity, a creature. There's some rules for that. I need to investigate, make sure we're not violating anything. Oh, before I get any more questions out of the way here, let me do a drawing. Getting a little congested. Now I'm just kind of to the point of feels like I have allergies or something. Eyes are still a little bit weepy. Not bad. All right, you guys ready? This is for the Vault Cupid ensemble. You guys ready? And looks like you guys all get in. Oh, I'm gonna give Majoria. Majoria, you misspelled raffle. Make sure you're in there. Okay, looks like you were already in there. Here we go. Celine Bright Shadow, congratulations. I can think of no better person to get the Cupid ensemble than Celine. Celine. And Elgarion may be on the stream. I haven't actually seen him speak up. They were doing a Crown store meeting, which I missed. I thought we were going to postpone it until tomorrow. And I was, our freezer, I know you guys really care about this stuff, but our freezer, like a lot of people, is in the garage. Actually it's in our utility room, which is on the same power. The only thing that matters, it's on the same power circuit as the garage. And apparently I had something plugged in outside. I think I left the extension cord out there. Oh, it's power washing. And the extension cord was still out there, and we got a bunch of rain about 3 days ago. And the extension cord apparently got enough rain that the extension cord, which was plugged into the same circuit as the garage, popped its little GFCI thing or whatever, which turned off the freezer. So I was dealing with some 3-day-old freezer stuff. Hey, there you are. Let's see. Let me reopen. I'm going to allow entries again here. I'll figure out what we're getting. And again, I did not wipe it, so if you're already in the first one, you don't have to do the raffle thing. I know you guys can't resist it, though. And I only got about 15 more minutes here because I got to get a baby. But we will do for the second one. Hey, now that you can send more than 10 items in an email, and I don't have to torture Elgarion with it, I'm going to go ahead and do, for the last one here, since I only did 2 giveaways today, I'll do the Shogun Castle Wall set. It's one of my favorite Castle Wall sets. All right. Well, I'm going to roll answering questions here, so I'm going to get back to answering them. So apparently talking is going to make my whatever worse. I'll take some cough syrup before I do it again next time. Let's see. Sean Paxler. Can you speak a bit on what other NPCs may come available for Inky use and how far it will be until how far out it might be until a craftable version? I didn't realize that we didn't have the craftable version. Again, it got in there in a test state, and I think no one actually took the initiative. This is one of those things that I will completely blame on Star being insanely busy and not giving us 100% of his time right now, as he does stuff getting ready for South by Southwest in March. But anyways, that's something he totally would have caught. The rest of us, meh, whatever. So I blame Star. It's good to have someone to blame like that, especially when you guys know he's awesome, and I'm just kidding. But yes, we need to get those out there. I mean, right now it's on something that we can't even monetize on. That's how screwed up we did, or how screwed up it is. But yes, the idea is that we're going to have one that will be a craftable version that will be probably a larger vocabulary than allowed to have. You guys probably played with it. Oh yeah, and Vino, you notice he's missed like 3 or 4 streams in a row, but he still makes time for dance parties. That's been more timing than anything else. But how, for people who've played with the Inky stuff, how are you feeling about the current limit? That current limit is a lot teleporters. Yes, that's the other one that I've had on my list forever, Elrond. How are you feeling about the limit that's on that one? I think that's only like 1,000. The feedback I got from the limit is horribly low. So that's my thought. That's kind of the same feedback I'd had. My thought was that we would double it for the craftable version, or the one you buy for gold or whatever. 992 actually. Okay. And that the bigger version, I think, can be much bigger, like the Crown Store version. So probably double like the one that's there now for the free version. You know, it may cost gold or whatever. I mean, it's supposed to be an NPC. You're crafting an NPC, which seems a little weird to me. So it probably won't be craftable. It'll just be like something you buy in the store or something. Or maybe it'll be craftable. But anyways, the crafted / free version or gold version will be bigger than what it is now, and then the crown version will be probably 5 times or 10 times bigger than that. So again, we want to make sure, and I've heard that from multiple people, that the current limit is too low. Arca gave me the feedback that his honest take is we should double it. Yeah, we can look. I don't know that there's any good reason for the limit. Sometimes we have limits on things due to the byte size that we can send down comfortably without it being too big of a hog. I am not 100% sure how Wizard Smoke implemented it and whether or not it comes down when you enter a scene or when you actually interact with it. I'm hoping it's when you interact with it. It may be when it gets loaded. It wouldn't be when you enter a scene. It would be when it gets loaded, because not everything gets loaded. You know, we stream that. But anyways, we've got, it may be the only limit we really have on that stuff is more like a 32K limit of 32K characters, just due to packet size. Not packet size, but what we comfortably send down. So we'll see. And there's a lot of easy fixes for that as well, like compressing it, and then we can probably get 5x compression on stuff. All right, let me get back to some questions here because I only have about 13 minutes. Yeah, talking's not doing my throat good here. Yes, Sean Paxler. Yes, we need to. There'll be more. There'll be the actual versions that are in there. He just put the inky stuff on there for experimenting on like one NPC, but it's pretty trivial to add in. So maybe we can get that for Friday as well. Inky NPCs for Friday. Yeah, and I want to make sure like we have stuff like why do we not have them also on the town NPCs, the pot NPCs, so you can have your storekeeper. Or I guess that would be a problem if you go to them and they actually have the stuff. Cough drops, what? No way. But anyways, yes, more NPCs, actual NPCs rather than the placeholder one that's in there now. I just put it on my list, so I'll try to get that in for Friday. Let's see. Lancel, can you fix the Cupid bow to become an eternal salvage for bows, please? The wings can, not the Cupid bow. Lancel, is that the store-bought one or the found one? I guess that's the store-bought. There isn't a found one. You're not talking about the Envy bow. You're actually talking about the Cupid. Yeah, so the store ones are supposed to be if you salvage them, you get an eternal salvage pattern. So yes. All right, man. Lots of notes. Store Cupid bow, not eternal pattern. Check. Okay, got it. Let's see. Orchaic, are you able to add socketing for crossbow of accuracy and bandit armor chest? And yeah, that's just, again, we have to add it to a list. I had not added those. Again, the bandit armor chest didn't feel like it needed anything more to be, to be more powerful. Crossbow of accuracy feels like it probably should, though. Majoria, did you see the thread about confusion? If her choices matter, then Purify Burst doesn't matter much, even if you consciously spam it. Can you look into this so we can use our strategies? Yes. Yes. Let's see. Elrond, King of Elves, how many essences a legendary artifact gives the player when salvaged? You are absolutely right. Currently, there is just a default artifact salvage bundle that's one bundle that gives you an essence. That I really should go in and change that so when you salvage, maybe you won't get 4 when you salvage an uncommon, but maybe when you salvage an uncommon you get 3 back, and when you salvage a rare you get 9, something like that. That's more representative of the pieces that went into it rather than it just being 1. Why are you guys creating so much work for me? Let's see. Yes, I'm touching my eye. It's my other eye. The original Smelly. What zones can we still expect to see changes from? Saw your post on Twitter about people in groups attenuating, but it doesn't seem like a lot of folks crossing the threshold. Yeah, and that's, like I said, there's going to be a few places I'm watching to see where it seems like it, if they're getting to 5 million, it's probably going to be a place that I'm going to hit. I know Valband Pass still needs a little bit more tweaking. A few of the dungeon rooms needs a little more tweaking, and again, the tweaking is to make the things in there a little less easy. Until I can get it down so, maybe like the very best group in the game, occasionally hits it. I saw at least 4 or 5 different groups getting, 3 to 4 million. Pretty much all weekend long, so needs a little touching right now. But yeah, Volban Pass, a few dungeon rooms. There'll probably be a few more, as I'm sure you guys find the cooler spots to hit up. But DG Gnome, is there a bug known this patch of frames chug happening suddenly? Can rezone and issues do not persist? I don't know. You might do a /debug and see if you're getting an exception. We try to fix exceptions. That's something that we fix in like the week afterwards, like basically now. That could be something that like you triggered something that's causing an exception, which will spam your debug log. It also spams us and can cause you to chug, depending on what it was. Duke Yukon, what happened to the prize UT challenge? That is what Lancel was just harassing me, gently nudging me about. And she has full permission to harass me because I am like 2 weeks late on that. That I was going to send out. But Tazar sent me a list of the people that were in it, and I confirmed it, so I will be getting to it. Elron, King of Elves, will we get new ore types for episode 2? Yes. That's an easy one. You'll probably get new ore types before episode 2. But there will probably be some ore types that are exclusive to episode 2, like you can only find them in episode 2 scenes. Serenia Melorian, will we be getting craftable sinks and toilets? I really like the plain version of the ones in the Kodo store. Probably. Again, we haven't, that's how we make our money is the Crown store, and we've been so busy with trying to fix up game stuff, fix bugs, add new features, get episode 2 out the door, not be sick, that we haven't even had time to do the Crown store versions of stuff. So, but yeah, I know that's one of the things you guys really like role-playing with. House of Mangar Theater. Yes, I did read your poke on Twitter. Can you please fix artifact jewelry to match the new durability of crafter jewelry? Yes. I fixed some of the artifacts. I've not fixed all of the artifacts, though. Taiki, people get the universal orb for free, and you still charge for it in the store. That explains why no one's buying it. But yes, you should. I believe everybody should get the universal orb for free. Being able to talk on chat channels is kind of a big deal for a new player. I believe it helps with stickiness. Alex Blizz 2013. Can the crafting queues be the same as the salvage queues? Yes, they can. I know you guys are liking those salvage queues. And that was one that, again, I think there's a time when people were very concerned about some things that without really having good reasons for them. And I think that's, again, the salvage stuff showed that it's not really a big deal. But again, we've done a ton of work on performance on everywhere, so. Oh, and a new server. I'm sitting here looking out the door occasionally. If somebody rings the doorbell, it's because one of our 2 new servers is being delivered. 2 new servers that, let's see, I'm trying to remember the exact information on them, but they're Dell R730s. They're 20. They're basically 2U units with 24 2.5-inch drives on them. Whoops, sorry about that. That probably didn't sound good. And then dual 2640 V3s. Like basically 16 cores with 2.6 gigahertz per core. And no, not from India. From a buyer that I have used before. Those are actually going to be for our infrastructure rather than being for the game server. But there's a second one coming, and I'm debating whether or not to use that for infrastructure or make it for game. My dream, by the way, is to have our infrastructure, since we've had multiple failures, is just having them we run everything through VMs, but they should each one of them be able to powerful enough to handle and enough storage to handle pretty much all of our VMs. Which then we're talking about like putting all your eggs in one basket. Like we can do it on these things, and they're 6 or 7 years newer than the ones we did have. The basket we did have our eggs in, but it's still scary. But we do have a way I can do a have it mirror. So basically, it's keeping 2 servers exactly running the same thing, and even keeping memory synced and stuff like that. Let's see. There we go. Just told Scooby what room the other person was doing it in. Let's see. Crafting cues, Antrax. Any planned balance change for piercing shots? Yes, that is one that the archers screamed every time I say it. But that is the short one on my short list for things that will get a balance pass. Probably I won't push it out in a patch. Maybe I will. It did actually get a small nudge down. I'm surprised to hear it can still go over 1.5 K damage. And the nudge down was that I nudged down the damage you get from stacking or charging for free attacks. So it gets, the peak damage is decreased if you're just shooting it more quickly. And again, this is kind of trying to get to the point where charging stuff is important to players because it conserves focus, but it doesn't make it so it breaks the damage curve for everybody. Ghosts are still going to kill you if I nerf it? Well, I'm not going to nerf it that much. We're talking about nerfing it from like 1.5 peak damage, like 1.1k peak damage or something. Zelgatus asked a good question. Oh, and I'm going to have to get off here in a minute, so I'll do my drawing after this question. When are you going, or when you're doing these passes on the zones where people are getting attenuated, are you taking into account the player levels, being that a player who has billions of experience is stronger than newer players? And yes, that is one of the things. Some of them I've changed, how I balance them varies by scene, and I'm trying to make sure some of those control points stay viable to players, like level 60, level 70, level 80 type guys. Again, though, if you're that level, maybe you shouldn't expect to be making millions of experience points per hour. You wouldn't be that level for more than a day if you did, or if you could easily. But to give you an idea, like the upper tiers where I really did push lots of aspects of it up in terms of difficulty. Some of the other ones, the change that were made is the creatures don't hit any harder. They have more health, or they may have a little more armor or magic resist, but not much more. They're really more about they take you longer to kill them, but they're not significantly tougher. So again, taking longer to kill them does make them tougher, but they aren't hitting for higher amounts of damage. The hitting for higher amounts of damage with magic and attacks is one of those things that really raises the hardness bar a lot. So these should be things that the lower level people should, if they can handle them before, they can probably still handle them. It just will take more time for them to do it. But yes, I am trying to pay attention to that and trying to make sure I don't make every control point now is so hard that only a group of level 100s can do it or something like that. I was happily surprised to see no one was getting into the top tiers of experience by soloing control points. That for a long time was a big problem. That was one of my fears. But apparently I got it to a point where it's good enough that you guys are grouping, which is awesome. That's what I love. All right. Enough talking and screwing up my throat. I gotta go get that little monkey of mine. We suffered a fatality in our fish family. It's a new aquarium, and we did feed them too much. We did basically all the newbie stuff. Put too many fish in too soon before the nitrogen cycle or the nitrate cycle really got going. And I was like, my fish don't look too happy. And I checked, and my ammonia was like off the charts, like 5 or 6. I forget what the number is, but 5 or 6 parts per million. Celine Bright Shadow, you did win a raffle, and I said nice things about you too. But anyways, I've got to go get her. I did some emergency fish work as well to save the other fish, and saved them. Oh, and for those who missed my telling you, the place behind me where there's a mojito painting right now, that's actually a painting somebody did for us, a watercolor painting someone did of mojito. But in that big gap, there's going to be a big fish tank. I've got a 150-gallon fish tank coming that will sit empty for a long time. But that'll be I'm going to rearrange things so that the camera's looking at me with a fish tank in the background when I'm done. The wife gave me permission to buy it. She said she would pay for it because she said it reduces my stress. The fish reduce my stress, except when they start dying. Apparently she thinks I'm stressed or something. Whatever. All right, let's do that drawing. Yeah, Celine, you won the not the Pixie, Cupid, the Cupid Ensemble. This one is for the Shogun wall set, and I believe the Community of the Avatar is in there. Already sent to you, Celine. It says Community of the Avatar, aka Elgarion. You guys ready? All raffled up? Red Hammer, I have actually lost 10 pounds in the last few months, but it is intentional that I'm trying to lose some weight. I am not in the shape that I was when I was younger. I put on a fair amount of weight, not just due to Shroud. I did put on a fair amount of weight, so I'm trying to get back down to my fighting weight. I was actually a very competitive athlete, and actually when I got married, as my wife has reminded me, I was in pretty good shape. Whole six-pack abs and hitting the gym constantly. Well, I'll get back there. Oh, you wait. Thank you, Red Hammers. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. Bam. Hands off. Elrond, King of Elves. It's rigged. Rigged, I tell you. Oh. Actually, I don't know. I'm not sure Elrond won anything. I can't think of any time that he's won. I'm sure he's won at least sometime in the past. But Elrond, congratulations. Congratulations. And thank you for all your super constructive feedback. And not just your constructive feedback on things, but also your patience on things getting implemented. I know crafting has not been my baby, so it has not gotten the fastest work done on it recently, but I do intend to change that. Again, I know crafters make up a big part of our community and are vital to the community and feed the, I completely understand the whole loop between, without the crafters, it'll be a lot more bored adventures because they wouldn't have anything to go farm and to turn stuff into, gear and go and, anyways, I get it. You will soon get my love, Elrond, soon. All right, guys. Thank you for joining the stream today. I'll try and get some stuff. I'll try to quit being such a slacker and getting stuff into the store and getting some new stuff in there. But I'm going to try to get some stuff in for this week, hopefully for the weekend. And I'll try to make sure we include getting some super sexy inky guys in there, including a craftable one. Again, you're crafting an NPC, that just seems weird to me. But we'll figure out how we get them in there. That may just be you buy them with gold at a store or something like that for, you buy a slave for 10,000 gold. But right now, I need to go find somebody to raid so I can go pick up my little munchkin from the bus stop. Doobie-doobie-doo. All right, we got some good people here. We got... Let's see. Just being a soda jerk. Or House of Mangar. RPE Zach. These are tempting. I'm gonna just do the roll thing. A 1, which was, I'm not sure how it orders people, but on mine that's House of Mangar. I was going to say it looks like there's 2 viewers on House of Mangar and RPE Zach, but on mine it's House of Mangar. So House of Mangar, that's good. He will educate you. I'm sure he'll complain about me and stuff too, but it's all right. It's all good. People are allowed to complain about me. Just as long as you complain to me in a constructive manner, too. Here we go, guys. All right, we're loading up to raid there. 5, 4, 3. Guys, thank you so much. I'm glad the release is going pretty well. I know there's some stuff in there. We still got to hammer out a few things. I know we gave you that Inky, but we're pretty much just teasing you with it because we only have it on the one thing. I'll make sure that gets fixed by Friday. We'll at least get somebody out there you can craft. And expand that buffer a little bit. And get some much bigger guys out there. But lot teleporters again. I've got to do some bard stuff. I've got to do some recipe stuff. I've got a list of like 5 things you guys gave me. But I will try and get some of those things done and in the store and also into a craftable state. I'm also adding some new consumables as another one coming up. Some new potions. You can get ready for that. There's going to be a crafting potion. That'll become, or a tamer potion that'll be coming up. That's supposed to be like you feed your pet the potion to buff up your pet. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me today on the stream. Thank you for supporting the game. Make sure and bring all your friends into the game. Get people in the game. Get the people in the game. I saw Marquis Dragon was testing out a new machine and was stunned to see he played our game on a pretty old machine. And it was 60 frames per second most places. And he went to a crowded pot and it was 40-something frames a second. So anyways, hopefully I can get him on the stream again here soon. But guys, we're about to go raid, so let's go. Thank you.